you ever heard of the Battle of Sullivan's Island? It's okay if you haven't, because you're going to learn today. So the Battle of Sullivan's Island was fought on June 28th of 1776 and was an early engagement of the American Revolutionary War. And it took place near Charleston, South Carolina. It actually marked a decisive American victory and a huge setback for the British's plans to crush the rebellion in the South. Now, Sullivan's Island is a small island that's in Charleston Harbor, and the British aimed to capture Charleston, which is a major port town, still is a major port town, in order to establish a southern base to rally loyalist support, meaning like rally local Americans that are loyal to the British Crown at the time. Now, the American colonies were in the early stages of rebellion, and the South Carolina's militia and continental forces were preparing to defend their territory. There was approximately 400 to 500 defenders at the time, primarily South Carolina militia and continental troops, and they were led by Colonel William Moultrie. They're actually stationed at an unfinished palmetto log fort named Fort Moultrie, after Colonel William Moultrie. Now, the British far outnumbered the continental troops, like 10 to 1 almost. They had a fleet of about 10 ships, and they had 3,000 troops and 300 cannons, so they were stacked. The odds were definitely stacked against the American patriots. And they were commanded by Admiral Sir Peter Parker, not to be confused with Spider-Man's Peter Parker, but British Peter Parker, and also General Sir Henry Clinton, not to be confused with anyone related to Bill Clinton.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Now, during the battle, the British bombarded the fort for over 10 hours, expecting to overwhelm the defenders easily. However, the palmetto log walls absorbed cannon fire pretty effectively, surprisingly, which minimized the damage. Now, the American artillery, although it was limited, returned fire with sheer precision, damaging British ships pretty significantly. And in the heat of battle, a guy by the name of Sergeant William Jasper famously raised the fallen South Carolina flag, like right in the middle of the battle, almost like that battle at the end of the Patriot, except a South Carolina flag. It ended up boosting morale, and everybody got super motivated and was like, let's go! Now, unfortunately for the British at the time, they failed to mount any level of coordinated assault because they were delayed by logistical issues, and also there were shallow waters around the fort. So the British ended up suffering about 200 casualties compared to about 37 American casualties, including 12 killed and 5 wounded. Eventually, the British ended up withdrawing, and they abandoned their southern campaign for almost 2 years. As a result of this battle, Charleston remained in the American hands until 1780.